Hey guys, welcome to another episode of F1 2021 Career Mode on the ChesnoidPlays channel. Firstly, let me say thank you for 14,000 subscribers here on the second channel. Very much appreciate that. Thank you for your continued support on this F1 save. Today we are in Singapore for episode 14 of season 2, but you'll notice this symbol in the top right is flashing. That because there is some mail. I can't quite recall where I need to go, what button I need to press to actually get to that mail. But it's important because there's been an update with driver ratings. Oh, literally there, mail. Now, there you go. We've updated the driver stats to match the real-world performance of the drivers. These changes will apply instantly to any new saves or championships, but if you wish to apply them to your current saves, you can do so below. So we're applying the changes to our current existing change. If you want to know who's had what boosts and declines, I can bring up the website in a moment. So I'm going to apply that to my existing saves. So the driver ratings in my team have now altered slightly. Only slightly, but they have been altered. Some have gone up a bit, some have gone down a bit. Let me show you what changes have been made. So, Latifi and George Russell have both gone up. Latifi and George Russell have both gone up in our save. Mick has gone up and Yuki has gone down. Little bit of a boost for Nikita Mazepin as well. Lando and Bottas both going down a little, with Alonso going up significantly. Lewis down a bit. Max stays at 95. They're the changes. They're the changes. I don't believe... I'll just quickly scroll through. I don't believe there's been any... Oh no, Daniel Ricciardo's down to 89. Ocon stays where he is. George up to 85. Checo down to 86. Kimi stays 87. Who's announced his retirement today. Kimi Räikkönen from real life Formula 1, which is sad to see, but probably inevitable at the end of this season. 87 still for Carlos Sainz. Mix up, as we said. Valtteri down. Lance Stroll stays the same. Max stays the same. Gio stays the same. Alonso up. Gasly up to 92. Gasly's bloody quick. Charles Leclerc stays at 88. The boost to Latifi. We boosted to Latifi. We saw the decline to Lewis and the staying the sameness of Sebastian Vettel. Obviously, I know that's not quite the real term. Thank you, Fredis, for gifting a sub to Drazzy. That's very kind of you indeed. Right, drop this video a like, guys, if you enjoy. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any further content, of course, from this F1 2021 save. And follow the link in the description to join me on Twitch and watch these streams live. It's time to head to Singapore for the first night race we've had for a little while. We finished... Where did we finish here last year? Last year we had... It was our first kind of mix-up with regards the weather and like staying out on tyres when we should have come in, or coming in when we should have stayed out a little bit longer. We ended up finishing 14th in Singapore last year, but we could have finished a lot higher, I think. Well, after a third place finish in Russia, I certainly do want to finish a lot higher in Singapore this year. So I'm going to jump in. I'm going to go and get everything set up and sorted. We're all right component-wise. Yeah, we're absolutely fine component-wise. Right, time to go to Singapore. There you go. That's much better. So there is some pace in the car. At least I feel like there's some pace in the car. How competitive that will be come qualifying, I don't know. We'll find out. Thanks for the follow, Dano. Welcome to the channel, mate. Right. Not that quick for the practice programs. Seemingly not overly fast in practice. Yeah, see, I'm putting in a purple sector 1, which is miles faster than anyone else, really. And my third sector is poor, but my middle sector is even worse. Although my middle sector was actually better than my teammates, although that was on mediums. Middle sector, actually, middle sector's not the worst. Not the worst. It's faster than Seb Vettel. It's actually more the third sector. It's a mixture of second and third combined, I think. Mixture of second and third combined. So I'm I'm 8/10 off Charles Leclerc in the middle sector and 7/10 off him in the third. So that's where that second and a half is going from. Never mind. To qualifying we go, or at least skipping through practice to find out how many...
All the cars now over the
I
line.
ended that P11 in the end. To find out how many resource points we get, and also try and earn ourselves some pennies by answering questions. In the wet, yeah, it was competitive enough. McLaren have really developed well in this save. You win some, you lose some, is what I'll say. I won't blame anything on the car. No worries, Claire. I won't blame anything on the car and affect the morale of any of our departments. We won't be doing practice round 2, or practice 2. We'll be skipping straight to quali. I believe it was... I swear... Oh no, it is dry throughout. Somewhere it was wet and then drying, unless maybe it's changed the weather forecast from our last stream. But it's a dry quali and a dry race, so we should be absolutely fine for strategy. We'll see how many resource points we get from practice. Robert, I imagine, will have provided about 1 to 200, as he normally does. 100. I only offered 250 on this occasion, though, so I can't... Oh, no, I've gone down a level. I had such a bad practice session. I've actually gone down a level. That's not gone well. Let's try and regain that level in qualifying. That puts me P4. P4. For now.
You've only got 2 laps of fuel left.
P4 for now. But I imagine that time will be overtaken by number. I'm already P10. As we come back, I'm already P10. But we only need to be P16 or higher. And we're P14. But I do have quite a substantial amount of time in hand. We have a good 8/10 in hand on Yuki Tsunoda. I'm probably going to risk it. And try and get through on that one set of tyres. Or do I not? Do I just go out again? Because I don't think I'm going to make it into Q3. Do I go out again? Chat, do I go out again at the end of the session or not? We finish. You guys asked me to risk it. And was risk it the right thing to do? No is the answer. P17. Chat said risk it. The risk failed. We had 8/10 in hand. 8/10 in hand, almost a full second. And at the end of the session, they all found more than a second on one more lap. That's unexpected, to be honest.
Let's have your take on it.
We.
Who would you say is your biggest rival?
Oh yeah, one of those is my biggest rival, isn't it? I'll say Max because the Red Bull is the weaker of the
How will
few.
not making Q3 affect your strategy tomorrow?
Throws a spanner in the works. We still aim for some points. Thank you for the follow, T-Sar. I have, thank you, mate. Hopefully you have as well. Yeah. What have we learnt from this? We've learnt don't listen to chat, and my driver rating driver level goes down even more. I'll be honest. I'm very surprised that they went more than a set. They all went more than a second quicker. Very surprised they all found more than a second. I'll be starting Bottas on a 48.6. It rained at the end of quali. Q3 was in the wet. Robert starts P8. Go on, Robert. Robert starts P8. Gasly with a grid penalty. We start P16. So someone behind us took a grid penalty. Raikkonen, Latifi, Mazepin, Callum Ilott took a grid penalty. We will start P16. We're on mediums. It recommends a 3-stop strategy, but we could make a 2-stop work. Oh, what's everyone around us doing? What's everyone around us starting on? Everyone around us is on mediums. I might start on no, because I can't guarantee that I'll make the moves. A 3-stop isn't. Well, there's not much in it at all, is there, between a 2-stop and a 3-stop? It's like a second. And like Kingy says, track position is important around here. I think a 2-stop is the way forward, personally. Thank you for the subscription, BRTCNLN, by the way. Appreciate it, and thank you for the follow as well. And EV, welcome to the channel. Medium, soft, medium, maybe. We'll start on the mediums at the very least. We'll start on the mediums. We're starting P16. I'll say, will I finish P10 or higher? Will we get points or not? We're going to really risk it today. Will we get points or not in this race? Higher tyres are absolutely out of the question, Matt. They're 2.5 seconds a lap slower. My wheel isn't compatible with Xbox, Mahir. I was on PC last year. I'm on Xbox this year, and the wheel I have is PlayStation and PC only. Right, expect George to have a good start. I'm going to stick to the inside here, I think. We'll try and take Yuki if we can, but I'm running the risk of damage. I just had to cut the corner just to ensure I avoided him. George nips in. George has taken Yuki. We're still P16. Yuki's going to have the inside line for this next turn. I tried to nip across to see if I could do something, but no. Max has dropped a few places. Not sure whether he's had an issue. Oh, someone very nearly hit a wall there. Very nearly hit a wall. Not sure who it was. Make a couple of places here whilst they go a bit single file through there. Oh, he's getting feisty. Is young George. Hang it out around the outside though. Get it done. It's P14. Not a bad start. Not a bad start. Surprised to see Max down in P11. Where did Max start? Where did Max start? Has he just had a massive issue? No, Max started 12th. Max started 12th. Odd to see Max start 12th. I think I did get a little nibble on my front wing a little bit earlier. I'm just going to double check and see if... No, there's no damage. Okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, Max took a grid penalty, did he? I probably mentioned that when we were looking at the grid and just forgot. Carlos Sainz in the pits already. Carlos Sainz has taken damage on lap 1 and Sainz is pitting. So that's us up to P13. 3 places gained on lap 1. Who Carlos would have hit, I've no idea. I've got a run on Esteban here. Stick up the inside of Esteban Ocon. Up to P12. 2 Mercedes have disappeared down the road, as we expected they would do. DRS from next lap, of course. Oh, Christ, that was close to the back of Gasly. Oh, he went super defensive, Pierre. He's worried about me. Probably could have gone for the outside line there. Might have been able to make it stick. So these medium tyres we're wanting to make last until lap 26, was it? Or 23? It might have been lap 26. Lap 24. In the middle. Right. Now Gasly might be without DRS here. He might have just dipped out of DRS range of Max Verstappen. If he has, then he's going to be vulnerable. George is stuck behind Ocon at the minute, which is great for us. We just put in a purple Sector 1. Sector 1 is my strong suit here. We are really strong in Sector 1. We're just terrible at Sectors 2 and 3. Now, I need to try and extend the gap on Ocon, if we can, before George gets past and he's able to use those soft tyres against us. Gap to Esteban is nearly over a second. It is now over a second. We can keep it that way. And he'll be out of DRS range and we will be relatively safe behind, provided George doesn't get through. And he is over a second behind there, Esteban. He won't have DRS. Right, now it's a case of building the gap behind. And trying to still make moves forward whilst not losing so much time that we end up getting caught from behind again. You can see the gap build to Esteban. Again, another purple Sector 1. One of my strongest sectors on the whole calendar, I think. Singapore Sector 1. Right, I'm going to try and make a move on Gasly, I think, if I can just get a decent run out of this turn. I'm going to try and make a move on Gasly. We're going for P11. Yeah, the job done. I see the points in front of me. Let's make some more moves. Let's get into them. Yeah, Robert is really holding up this gaggle, isn't he? Really nicely for us. Robert's qualifying is really strong. His race pace is... We're kind of the opposite of each other. My qualifying is always really poor, my 1 lap pace, but my race pace is always really competitive. We are seemingly quite fast on the mediums at the minute. It's still only Carlos Sainz that's pit. And that was for damage, of course, pitting from around about P4, which he'll be devastated about. Robert's on the softs as well, actually. So the fact that we're able to keep up with Robert on softs on these mediums is really good, because obviously he's going to go to mediums later and we're going to be on softs later, and it's ruining Seb's soft stint as well, which is also perfection for me. Now Pierre is falling back into Ocon, which is annoying. That was close to the wall. Hoiski boyski, that was close to the wall. I've got a run on Max, you know. He's gone defensive. I'm going to have to go around the outside. Oh, fucking parked on the apex, dickhead. Right, I won't take Max here. Or even attempt to. He just kind of parked it on the apex in that previous clip. Like, you expect him to go around the corner and then accelerate, and he didn't. He just kind of plonked it right on the apex and tried to stop me from accelerating, which I obviously wasn't prepared for. And then just went straight into the back of him. Took half my front wing off. Oh, I was going to say, Max got a bit hasty on the throttle pedal coming out of that last corner, and then I did the same, trying to capitalise on him getting a little bit tail happy. And my car got a little bit tail happy. Right, let's get a better run on Max this time if we can, or just as good a run if possible. Don't squeeze me in the wall. I am alongside you, Mr. Verstappen. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Purple sector 1. He's still there, so I'm going to leave him room. But we're going to hold it around the outside, and we're up to P10. That corner's so good for making overtaking moves on either side. You can do it around the outside, as we did there, or on the inside, as we have done previously. But we are up into the points now. Running P10. We're putting in some good laps. We're putting in some good moves. The car is handling really nicely. Just hope the tyres last as long as we need them to. See, Stroll got a little bit tail happy there as well. Some of the other drivers catching themselves out on that turn.
You're in the top 10 now.
I know I'm in the top 10 now, Jeff. I'm going to try and be in the top 9 by the end of the next straight. Oh, he says as he runs a bit deep there. Max had a look. Right, now do I go for Lance? He's gone defensive. I've gone super aggressive. And we'll squeeze it down the inside. And we're through on Lance. That's P9. Now then, it's the soft runners in front whose tyres are going to be going off now. That we're going to want to try and get past. We've had a really strong first stint. An exceptionally strong first stint so far. So 24th lap is what we need to get to. Tyres are about 10% worn now, so they're getting there. Tyres are wearing. I'll run on Seb. He's going to go super defensive again. Same as Lance did, but we'll try the same move as we used on his teammate. He's still there on my inside. We've gotten it done. We're past Sebastian Vettel. We're up to P8. My teammate is next.
Green flag.
Green flag. Okay, there's a yellow flag behind us somewhere. Not sure what for. Whether it's been an accident or... No one's retiring by the looks of things. Oh no, someone's retired. Yuki Tsunoda's retired. Why is Yuki out? That's Gasly. Oh, engine. His Honda engine's gone. Yuki's out, unfortunately. That won't spark a safety car, I don't think, parked there. It might, in real life, have sparked perhaps a VSC, but here it's not going to spark anything. I'm not close enough on Robert. I'm not close enough. I'm not going to risk it. We started P16 and we're now running P8. I believe the gap to the McLarens up in front is slightly less than it would be because they've been held up by Sergio Perez a little bit. Pretty sure that now that Lando is past that Red Bull, he'll accelerate away down the road. So I think we can probably aim for a P6 finish as probably our best. We hope to be challenging with Sergio Perez at the end of the race. That would be my aim anyway. Without any safety car, obviously. Without any safety cars. But you can tell that these soft tyres are going off for those around us. Robert's getting a little bit out of shape everywhere. And in fact, Robert is pitting on lap 10. So is Perez and Ricciardo. Now's the time to put some good laps in. Let's make this advantage work. They're going to come out in traffic as well. They hopefully will come out in traffic, although a number are stopping. They'll come out in traffic and get held up. We might be able to overcut a handful of drivers here if they get stuck in traffic after that first pit stop. Now we need to drive like the wind for another 10 laps or so before we pit for our own set of tyres. 9.2 to Lando. Now his soft tyres are probably going to be going off a little bit as well. And he'll probably pit next lap because Daniel pit this lap. And they are stuck in traffic. They've come out behind a Haas, I think. They've come out behind two Haas's, Ricciardo and Sergio Perez. That could play into our hands beautifully. And there's a Ferrari in front of them as well. Sainz is stuck behind the Haas's. Hasn't been able to get past them since he pit on lap 1. And now Checo and Ricciardo are stuck behind them too. This could really play into our hands later in the race. Currently running P5. And Lando might well come out in that gaggle as well. If he does, we've really lucked in. We've really lucked in. Charles Leclerc is really quick on his set of medium tyres though. Lapping all on his own now at the minute. Lando is in the pits, so we're going to be up to P4 here. And if we get lucky with an overcut, we might be able to challenge for a P4 ourselves genuinely at the end of the race. If we get lucky with the overcut and there's no safety cars and our tyres last well, we'll have gone from a P16 start to challenging for a P4, 5 or 6 come the end of the Grand Prix. Which I'd be very happy about. A minute, Leclerc in his Ferrari and the McLarens in general are just too quick for us. Even in race pace where we are stronger than everybody else, or stronger than certainly we are in qualifying in our own self. Lando's out ahead of the Haas's. That's frustrating. Well spotted. Lando out ahead of the Haas's. Hopefully though, he'll catch up those Alfa Romeos and get caught. We'll currently come out 18th if we pit now. That's what the MFD says. We'll come out 18th. Now where is 18th? Probably behind Lando, right? 18th would actually bring us out behind Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz. We need to make some more time. But they've all gone to mediums as well. Latifi's gone soft, but they've all gone to mediums. Imagine Latifi had some damage then, perhaps? No, it just went soft. So Latifi's 3-stopping. Thanks for following, Jamie, and what should I type? So they're on mediums now. They've run their soft stint. Our soft stint will come right at the end of the Grand Prix. And hopefully will be enough to help us earn a strong finish. I'm aiming for P6, I think. I'm aiming for P6 at this moment in time. They're still stuck behind that Haas. They're still stuck behind that Haas. Lando is past one of the Alfa Romeos and is hounding the other. And actually, I think might just have taken that Alfa Romeo. They're side by side at the moment. Lando's just taken that other Alfa Romeo. So Norris in the McLaren is making moves. But the others that are stuck behind that Haas cannot get past. And that's going to save us, or earn us, loads of time. And hopefully save us an extra overtake or two. I'll ask about the distance to my teammate. And that should give us an idea of how far behind those guys are and how much we'll have in hand, potentially, pit stop wise. Reckons I'll come out 12th now when I pit. 12th. So we will overcut Ricciardo and Sergio Perez as things stand. We'll come out 12th. But fuel is going down substantially. My fuel is going down quite quick. So I'm slightly concerned about. You can't turn on lean fuel. Oh, I'm too busy reading chat.
That was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
You can't turn on lean fuel fire. There's only one fuel mode this year. There's only one fuel mode this year. The only way you can go into lean is under a safety car. So we're going to have to significantly fuel save later in the race. Significantly fuel save later in the race. Or hope that we get lapped. Bottas is currently 26 seconds down the road, and at Singapore it's a really long lap. So I don't think we're going to get lapped at all. We are going to have to fuel save or pray for a safety car. A safety car at the minute would ruin our potential of finishing higher. We don't. If there is to be a safety car, I kind of want it to happen much later in the race. Much later in the race. There is no fuel gauge as such. I'll show you. On my MFD, the thing that pops up in the middle of the screen when I press B, you can see at the top of that how many laps worth of extra fuel or how many laps worth of not enough fuel I have. At the minute, it says, I'll bring it up for you. So at the minute it says plus 22, plus 0.22. So I have 0.22 laps worth of extra fuel to get me to the end of lap 61. But I started with 0.5 laps worth of extra fuel. So in just 18 laps, or 17 and a half laps, we've burned 0.3 laps worth of extra fuel. So I am going to need... That figure is going to dip below zero, and I'm going to be in a net loss for fuel later in the race, unless I fuel save. But yeah, as Kingy says, what percentage do you guys generally look to change tyres? How far do you take your tyres? Bottas in the pits on lap 19. That's how far his medium tyres will take him. Obviously, their medium tyres did an extra run in qualifying, which is why they're pitting earlier than we are. Leclerc pitting too. It's actually Hamilton, sorry, that's in the pits, not Bottas. They might come out right in front of me. If they do, I'll try and sit in their DRS. Lewis is a bit further ahead. A bit too far ahead, Lewis Hamilton. I was kind of hoping I could be close enough to sit in his DRS and then fuel save at the end of the straight. That's not going to work, unfortunately. So I'm not going to be close enough, and now he'll just disappear into the distance. So we're currently running P3 in a podium position for the second race in a row. Although on this occasion, we do expect that to change, unlike previous. Able to get to the podium in Russia. I don't see us getting the podium here in Singapore. Are they all past the Haas now? They are, aren't they? Now says I'll come out in 10th. Bottas in the pits. Now says I'll come out in 10th when I pit, which would be where Gio is. So I'd come out now. The undercut would work currently. I'd come out ahead of Checo and Daniel Ricciardo. I would come out of the pits ahead of Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo. The question is, what's the gap between Giovinazzi and Ricciardo and Perez? Not much at all. And that gap is only going to decline. Right, now can I get to within a second of Bottas? No. I might pit 22. Just to try and ensure I come out ahead of Checo and co. Now it says I'll come out 9th. Okay, I can stick with it at the minute. Oh, Checo's just pit. Checo's just pit. Not Checo. Giovinazzi's just pit. I'm going to box this lap.
Right, come in at the end of this lap.
I want to maintain that gap over Ricciardo and Perez. I want to keep track position and ensure that we get that undercut because they're going to be released now. It will mean that our second stint will have to go a bit longer on another set of medium tyres. But so be it. So we're going to pit this lap to try and cover off Sergio Perez and Ricciardo and ensure that we get that overcut. Lewis sets the fastest lap of the race on his new tyres. I never know where the pit entry, or can never remember where the pit entry is here, because look, that line there says 60, but the actual place where you have to stop and be under the pit limiter is here. It gets me every time we're in Singapore. Right, pitting then for our first stop, hoping to come out ahead of the Red Bull. Sam, thank you for 50 months, mate. Everybody can have a stream on in the background while I mop. Good lad. 2.5 seconds is a decent stop.
Okay,
Checo has gone through, however.
One stop left.
And there's Ricciardo. We've not been able to overcut. We've not been able to overcut Ricciardo and Perez. But crucially, later in the race, we'll be on softs and they'll be on mediums again. So if I can just stick with them, maybe fuel save a little bit behind Ricciardo, if I can catch him to get in his DRS, then that could still benefit our race significantly. I am going to have to make sure I catch Ricciardo, but our tyres are significantly fresher than theirs now, so we should be able to do that.
Okay, gap ahead is 1.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 10 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time
2 stops left.
1 minute 38.5.
I think Ricciardo's got 2 stops left, so the McLaren is 3 stopping. The McLaren is 3 stopping. Wow. I think that's a bad call. Checo's going for it in the car in front of him. It's Callum Ilott. That's cost them loads of time. Now I am quite happy for the time being to sit and fuel save for a couple of laps. I'm trying to build that little number up. Currently 0.24. Expecting Ilott to pit very soon. This lap or next, probably. It's allowing us the opportunity to save our fuel a little bit. Ricciardo's going to go for it. They're going to cost themselves loads of time here. I'm going to try and get around the outside of Ilott as well if I can. Oh, he just cut me up. Son of a bitch. Oh, he's so slow, Callum Ilott. He's so slow. I can't afford to let Daniel get too far away. I'm going to take Callum Ilott here around the outside. A little bit of a love tap, but we got the move done. And now we're still within touching distance of Daniel Ricciardo. Checo's 4.3 seconds down the road now, though, which is slightly concerning, but I'm sure we'll keep him in touch. Daniel Ricciardo has pit, yes, and needs to again. And we're closing the gap on Checo. We're closing on Checo, the two of us. We're really well positioned for a strong finish here in Singapore, lads. Really well positioned for a strong finish. Provided I can save enough fuel and Daniel can drag us up to Checo, we're in for a really strong finish. We're so quick on race pace. So quick on race pace. I could have already been behind Checo, but it's fine. It's not a problem. The most important thing for me at this particular moment in time is saving fuel. I'm using this part of the race to save fuel. Daniel, we're forcing some errors out of, though. I don't want Daniel to close me or to back me up into Verstappen, so I will pass Daniel if I have to. Right, a bit more fuel saving on this lap. And then next lap, I'll try and take Daniel. Ocon's in the pits. We're up to P7. Right, I'm going to try and take Daniel at the end of this next DRS zone. By try and take Daniel, I mean, definitely take Daniel. I had to back out the throttle there, though. He's going to try and hang it, but I've got the inside line. We're through. Right, let's close the gap to Checo and fuel safe off the back of him instead. If we can catch Checo, that is 3.6 seconds the gap. Come here, you! So they reckon, Jeff reckons that Daniel's going to stop 2 more times, whereas we're only stopping once more. Now I need to know what Checo's doing.
Our gap to the car in front is 3.3 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 14 laps old. We think they've got 2
Checo's 3 stopping as well, sorry. Checo has 2 more stops left. Gaining by more now, mate. Gaining by more now. Gap to the McLaren is already over a second. It's the tyre wear that's the difference here, though, at the moment. Their tyres are 10 laps older than mine, which is a significant amount. If we were on the exact same tyres, they'd probably be quicker than me. That was 1.2 seconds faster than any other lap we've put in so far in this race. It shows how much time we were losing behind the others, but we were only fuel saving. We're trying to fuel save. Next pit, lap 49. Next pit, lap 49. There you go, we're within DRS range of Checo now as well. Now, Max is right behind Ricciardo, and I'm hoping he'll get stuck. I believe Robert's going to be 3 stopping as well then. On the purple sector 1. And we're right behind Checo now. Kind of want to know what Lando's doing too, to be honest, but I still need to fuel save. I think 1 more lap of fuel saving, provided he doesn't go in, and I'll be happy to overtake him and start to try and chase down Lando. He's pitting now. Okay, game on. Fuel saving mode over. Now it's time to nail it again and close that gap to Lando Norris. Robert's in the pits, so he's obviously 3 stopping too. I'm going to ask about Lando.
Norris ahead. The gap to the car ahead
I imagine he has
2 seconds. They're on old mediums.
1 stop
Their
left.
tyres are 18 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining.
Lando's
The
2
lap
stopping
was
as well.
30.
Gentlemen, we might be on for another strong finish here. Daniel pitting, as you say. I'd like to think we will finish at least 5th. Lando's in the pits. Mediums or softs, Lando? Mediums or softs? What are you going to? Looks like mediums again, perhaps. Mediums again for Lando. So, provided Charles has only got 1 stop left, which I don't actually know.
Leclerc ahead. Gap to car in front is 27.2 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 11 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1 minute 37.8. We're gaining by around 0.2 per lap.
We're on for a strong finish, lads. Lando is going to gain on us like mad, though, in this next stint, but he has to pit again, as do we. Our next stop is lap 49. Our next scheduled stop is lap 49. So it's still 18 laps away. Look at the gap to Lando. It was 15 when he came out of the pits. Lando Norris is quick. We're on for a P5, I think. Maybe if we can keep Lando at bay, we'll be on for a P4, but I think we're on for a P5. Gap to Leclerc isn't really changing that much. We see how much the Mercedes have pulled out over us. They're 50 seconds down the road now. But that's still 50 seconds down the road. Is still 50 odd seconds away from getting lapped. So I don't think we'll get lapped in this Grand Prix. And we may find ourselves having to fuel save a little bit at the end.
Some information on Norris. They seem
Oh,
to have an issue.
yes! Lando has an issue and is going slowly. The dream. Oh, Lando, it sucks for you, but it's phenomenal for me. Our luck is in there. Lando is going to fall backwards now, hopefully. We should be able to extend the gap on him a little bit. He is lapping on his own, so he can't get DRS off anyone. Hopefully that means that the gap over Lando will extend. I believe Max behind us has only 1 stop left as well, because he started on his mediums and has gone medium. So Max Verstappen is still potentially in the hunt for taking a place off us. We have to be wary of him. And the gap over Lando actually isn't extending, is it? It's just kind of holding where it is. But holding where it is enough for me. Holding where it is enough for me. Alright, what's Max doing? One more stop, I think.
The gap behind us is 3.5 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 13 laps old. We think they've got 2 stops remaining. The time last lap was a 1:38.1.
Wow. Everyone around us still 2 stops remaining. We only have 1. So we have new softs to go to or used mediums. Obviously, we're not going to go to another set of mediums because we've only run mediums so far in the Grand Prix. I was tempted at the beginning of the race to start on softs, but going long in that first stint has really worked wonders for us here at Singapore. It was going long that avoided us getting caught in traffic after that first pit stop. The way that Sergio Perez and Daniel Ricciardo did get stuck in traffic after that first pit stop. That is what has made our race really so far. That and just in general really strong race pace. Thank you, Juan, for the 11th month, mate. Almost a year, you are right. Nearly there, my man. Gap to Lando is growing slightly. McLaren with an issue is still not that much slower than us. And the way that he was closing that gap on his fresh tyres just shows that we're not necessarily as fast as we think we are. We're not close to a win yet, but we are very much in the window now of competing for podium. It seems, anyway. It feels like we're very much in the window, at least with strategy thrown into the mix as well, of competing for podiums. But we do have to be good on strategy. If we're running the same strategy as other drivers, then we're still like 7th or 8th fastest, I think. But if we can work something strategy-wise, then we might become the Sergio Perez of Chesnoid Racing. Checo on strategy was able to get some great results, wasn't he, for Force India and for Racing Point. And we might be turning into that sort of driver at the moment with the way that the car's developed. There's Max behind, by the way. He's still there. Max is still a factor in this Grand Prix, I think. That gap to Lando is now 14.7. Whatever issue it was that he had on his car has really hurt his race. I don't know whether his issue is fixed yet. We'll keep an eye on that gap, and if it continues to grow, then that issue is still there. But if it starts to shrink, then Lando's issue has been solved. 20% on all corners apart from the front left again now. So the tyres are starting to hit there. We'll reach the cliff edge, and we've still got another 11 laps we want to go on this set. Because the softs do not last. Softs do not last here at all. That gap to Lando is still growing. It's now almost 16 seconds. Vettel and Gasly stuck behind Lando Norris. A slow Lando Norris. And if they start fighting, they're only going to lose even more time. Gap to the Ferrari is stable. It stayed at 28 seconds-ish for the majority of this stint. Or since we were able to see him on the board, top left. Lewis Hamilton's in the pits for presumably his final stop. Mediums to the end, you'd imagine. No, soft tyres. So Lewis is 3 stopping as well. Could absolutely take a set of mediums to the end, Lewis, but he's gone softs again. They're going medium, medium, soft, soft at Mercedes. Verstappen in the pits. Verstappen in the pits, a little bit of respite from behind. Max will go to softs though, and he will be quick. Now, everybody else that goes to softs now is going to be super quick between now and the end of the Grand Prix, because they're going to be going soft, soft. So any gap we have, over, provided they don't get caught in traffic, any gap we have over those runners that are going soft, soft is just going to disappear, and quick. Really, really quick. No, it's not worth doing an extra stop myself. Not yet. Not unless there's a safety car. Bottas in the pits now as well. So Lewis leads the Grand Prix again because Leclerc is also in the pits for his stop. He'll be going to softs, and he'll be outrageously fast. The gap to Leclerc was 28 seconds. I'm curious to know what the gap is when he comes out the pits, because I want to know how much time we can expect to lose when we're in the pits.
Seconds.
I'll tell you what, it absolutely isn't. He's right there. So you lose about 25 seconds in the pits. About 25 seconds. Lando's issue has been resolved, if that's the case. And Leclerc will be in the distance and out of our sight very, very soon. We're on worn mediums. He's on new softs. Not a chance. We got to keep up with him. Not a chance. Let's open the gap by 6/10 in half a lap. So at the minute, we pit will come out 7th, which will be with the Red Bulls, I think. Between the Red Bulls and Gasly. Yeah, Leclerc is just a really quick driver. He's getting the most out of that Ferrari. And Sainz would be right up here too if he didn't have that first lap damage. But you're right, it does look like Lando's issue is fixed. Lando's issue is fixed. But he does have one stop left, and we're stopping in 7 or 8 laps time. I don't think he'll close on us enough to get right behind us before we pit, but there won't be much in it. And then he'll be on softs and we'll be on softs. And it'll be a fight to the end. Carlos Sainz is on hards. He is. Oh, God. They ran out of tyres at Ferrari. They've run out of tyres. He's probably going to be the only driver that runs a hard tyre. Yuki's the only DNF so far, which is surprising at Singapore. You normally get more DNFs than that. When would I want a safety car? About lap 48. About lap 48, I think a safety car would be lovely. Oh God, what fuck? Paused at the wrong point, didn't I? About lap 48 would be lovely for a safety car. Gap to Verstappen. There you go, you can see it now. As Lance Stroll has pit. Gap to Verstappen, 21 seconds. So, as it stands, we will come out P7, I think? P7 after the pit stop, or P6? Yeah, P7. But 3 or 4 drivers in front of us will have to stop again. Stroll is right behind Max, isn't he? That might just be Max's taken Stroll, actually, mightn't it? Might just be that Max has caught Stroll and overtaken him. More so than Stroll actually having pit. Norris does have one more stop, yes. Norris has one more stop. Leclerc has one more stop. Verstappen has one more stop. Everybody basically has one more stop. Leclerc, in that one soft stint, has opened up a full pit stop's worth of time.
I think you're going to start losing some tyre grip around now.
Just as well, I'm pitting this lap for another set of tyres, isn't it, Jeff? And we will now, according to my MFD, come out in 6th place. So we will only lose positions in our pit stop to Norris and Verstappen, both of whom have to pit again. So we will pit this lap now for our final stop, a set of softs to try and gun it to the end and ensure a P4 finish. Give it our best go. We'll give it our best go. It'll be good for the constructors as well. We may, if we finish P4 and Gasly finishes P8, we may overtake AlphaTauri in the constructors as well. Not sure where Robert is actually. Is Robert in the points at all? No, he's P13. Ugh. Although Ocon does have to pit again. So does Gasly. So Robert could get to P11, which would be really frustrating. Robert might end up finishing P11. That'd be really annoying.
Stops.
There's Checo. That's P6. Gasly and Stroll are actually in the pits now. So we've come out P7. But I believe Checo has another stop. No, he doesn't. Oh, he does. He does. Checo does have another stop. That's huge. Thought for a minute we're going to have to fight our way past Checo. Although at the moment, I don't think it's going to be much of a fight to get past Checo. Verstappen's in the pits though. So that's Max Verstappen in the pits for his next set of softs and final stop. So we're back into P6. We'll be back into P5 probably by the end of this straight. The speed difference. What are you driving into me there for, Checo, eh, Dick? And hopefully, when Lando pits again, we'll be significantly in front of him too. I'm just going to check, make sure I haven't got too much damage off that. Actually, might make a good... Where did he hit me? On the side pod? I think he hit me on the side pod, didn't he? Yeah, thankfully no damage for us. And no damage for him either. Leclerc's in the pits for his final stop. Checo behind us will pit this lap as well, I imagine, for his final stop. And Lando might pit this lap too, potentially. Yeah, the soft tyres are really quick around Singapore. They just obviously wear significantly. Yeah, Lando in the pits. Lando in the pits. So that is going to be our P4 back again. Believe that Checo will pit from behind us as well. 2.1 seconds faster than we've been on any other lap. There you go, Checo pits from behind us as well. So now it's going to be a straight fight between ourselves, Lando and Max to see who's going to finish in fourth. With a gap being 21.5 to Leclerc, a podium is out of the question unless there's a DNF from the front three. The gap behind to Lando is 14-ish. 14-ish with 10 laps to go. That's definitely closable. That's definitely closable for Lando Norris and Max Verstappen on fresh rubber. Teammates in the pits. I thought for a minute that was going to be a bloody DNF from in front of us. Thought my luck was in for a moment. Our race pace has been so strong that even if we had to have made a third pit stop, like the majority of the front runners have, we'd still have been P6. We'd still be running P6 if we'd have made an extra pit stop. So yes, strategy has seen us into P4 from our P16 start. But race pace alone would have taken us from P16 to P6. It's purely the qualifying performance that is holding me back at the moment this season now. Although we do have Japan next, so I don't know if that's going to go that well. If you cast your minds back to last year. But I think driver of the day is pretty assured for us, yes. I think we can be very happy with the performance here in Singapore. It is one of my favourite circuits. And we've shown superhuman race pace that kind of reflects the fact that I really enjoy driving this circuit. We've been so strong throughout the entirety of the race. Our one lap pace still isn't there. We could have certainly qualified higher than 17th. We could have certainly qualified like 12th or 13th had we not risked it in qualifying to try and save a set of tyres, which in the end we wouldn't have needed anyway. But even if qualifying had been optimum and everything had gone our way,
Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty.
I don't think we'd have finished any higher than P4. Less than a lap of fuel, but thankfully less than a lap of race. Lewis Hamilton won the Grand Prix just ahead of Valtteri Bottas. They're still basically neck and neck in the championship this late on in the year. We'll have a look at the championship standings, of course, as our position should again improve, hopefully. Bottas did steal the fastest lap though right at the end, as you can see, so that will definitely help his championship fight against Lewis, or at least narrow the loss to Lewis. But we did have to do a decent amount of fuel saving in that Grand Prix as well. But that is going to be a P4 to back up our P3 in Russia.
All right, race over. Take care
In the
of the car on
race,
the way in.
we are quick. And we're good on our tyres as well, which is the most important thing. Good on our tyres. Adrian, thank you for gifting us up. It's gone to Akka. And Martin gifting 5 more as well. Jaffa, Covert, Joe, Bugatti and Michael J. Welcome to the gang, guys. Thank you very much indeed for the gifted subs, lads. Valtteri congratulating Lewis, who certainly had to earn that victory with the gap behind to Valtteri Bottas. a rather easy third for Leclerc in the end. We get driver of the day because we're incredible. Robert finishes P13 in the end, but the gap in the driver's standings is now up to 28. Lewis does have a decent gap at the top. We're 9th on 62 points, trying to close in on Checo. And in the constructors, we are above. I thought we might be. We are above AlphaTauri and up to P6 in the constructors standings. We won't catch Aston Martin, but P6 in the constructors is very good indeed. Robert's 1 lap qualifying pace is decent, but his race pace isn't all that, unfortunately. And as we thought, Max had the fastest lap on us, so we were equal on the race, meaning his good qualifying performance, or better qualifying performance, means that he continues the advantage there. But we have managed to up our driver level back to 13. T-Bird, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub, mate. Welcome to the gang. Had this whole stream on mute because of the damn meeting, but it was still very entertaining. Great work. Thank you, Martin, mate. We get £1 million there from our sponsors, which were, well, Nearest makes no difference, £1 million. 900 grand. I'm not sure what our overall balance is now. Quite healthy. Quite healthy. I am going to invest the profit back into the team. His driver claim would go up, his focus would go down. I'm going to decline. Organising the charity event, they've asked if... I need him to be as focused as possible, I'm sorry. Right, we do have some sponsor management to do as well. We do have a high cash balance. Yes, I am fully aware. We have 1,500 resource points as well. I can't spend anything there. Well, I can do the rotor speed for the ERS. Can't spend anything else there or there. So yeah, it's going to be the ERS. That's all I can do at the moment. That will be done before Mexico. And then I believe that's as much as we can do. We can do some MGUH upgrades. I don't really feel like we need to do any upgrades durability-wise. So financially, we're in a good spot right now. But we do need to add that new sponsor. Or maybe reassign the old sponsor. Let's have a look. What are our options then? Achieve a podium? No. Out-qualify a rival? No. 20 constructors points? No. 15 constructors points? No. Top 4 finish? Whilst we've done that in the past two races, I'm not thinking we're going to be able to do it much more between now and the end of the season, so I'm not going to do that one. Earn driver of the day? We've done that quite a few times recently. That might be one we could do. Complete a race weekend without colliding with another vehicle. Not going to commit to that. Score 5 constructors points during a race weekend. 5 constructors points we could do. What was Savant? Earn driver of the day. You reckon so? You qualify low and finish high. That's doable, you reckon? Alright, we'll do it. Earn driver of the day. Savant. Savant is what we will put on the car, meaning we now need to upgrade the livery of the car. We need to put Savant on the side of the M plate. We need to put Savant here. On the top of the car there. On the back of the car there. And that is our new sponsor. Savant is in. Savant is in. We don't need to do anything component-wise. Next up is Japan. But let's try and improve Robert. Let's try and improve Robert. Simulator training. So what we'll do is back-to-back races. A double header. We go to Japan. Things have improved. Good.
We'll have them with us for the next Grand Prix.
Oh, I'm saving my money at the moment. I'm going to save all my money until next year so that I can afford a really capable driver and then upgrade loads of facilities at the same time. And provided he'll join, I'm leaning towards George. Because I want to put a Mercedes engine in the car next year. So I'd lean towards having a Mercedes young driver. George is a Mercedes young driver, or at least a driver that's currently driving in a team that has a Mercedes engine. I'll do the prediction. Chill. You'll get your points. Don't worry. So let's just see what the weather is going to be like at Japan. I will choose the prediction outcome now. For the 50% of you that said we would finish in the points. It's a completely dry weekend in Japan, thankfully. Completely dry weekend. Or it might rain towards the end of the race. 41% chance of rain. It's probably just going to get overcast and we won't see anything rain-wise. But there is the potential for some drops towards the end of the Grand Prix. Right. That's where we'll leave it for now then. Thank you very much for watching the YouTube video, guys. Do drop the video a like if you've enjoyed. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any more. Follow me on the link in the description to Twitch. Come and watch these live. And I'll see you guys on YouTube next time.